Guys, we have a special presentation, a 30-minute extravaganza with G Funky Boxing on location in Sac City and the real Rick Glaser. Guys, we've got a lot to discuss, so let's get right down to it.
Too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.
Guys, welcome. Happy Monday, Labor Day to all of you guys. Hope you guys are being safe. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I tell you what, Rick, welcome to the program, sir. Woo! It's good to see you, my brother. How has your Labor Day weekend been, sir?
Slow.
Are you gearing up for this Thursday's big NFL preview or premiere for 2025 with the Cowboys and the Eagles?
No.
Oh, geez. You know what? Man, let's see what G Funky has to say about that. G Funky, join us on location at a gym in Southtown. How you doing, brother? Tell us what you're doing over there.
Oh, it's a media day, so they're inviting all the boxing content creators in the area to come to the gym and meet some of the fighters. There's a few professionals here. One guy that was just up in Canelo's camp a couple weeks ago is here. There's some sparring going on. I don't know if you can see behind me. So we're just hanging out, you know.
You know what? I have to tell you, G Funky, that's one of the nicer gyms that I've ever seen. Rick, what say you?
Yeah, it's brand new. It just opened up early this year. So, yeah, it's a lot of new stuff. It looks cool.
Yeah. Rick, what say you, brother? Looks like we're losing Rick. Oh, boy. Geez, that's convenient. Okay, here's Rick's going to join us again. Here we go. All right. Rick, you're there, brother. Yeah. Oh, Chihuahua. So, Rick, what say you? That's one of the nicer looking gyms. That doesn't have all the sweat, the blood, the flies like we're used to seeing. That doesn't look like a boxing gym, does it? Rick, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you. It doesn't look like much of a boxing gym. No, that's for sure.
It looks more like a Planet Fatness, doesn't it?
Pretty much.
Oh, Chingao, dude. Oh, boy. Well, I tell you what, guys, while we're still waiting for more listeners to get in the queue, we're going to start off with something really, really special with Big Rick. We're going to get his thoughts on, let's see. We're going to get his thoughts on this. Here's a top 10 here. Who wins head-to-head, right? Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson at their absolute peaks? Who wins and why?
Ali.
Really? Why?
Because he just does. He just ring IQ, speed, agility. Tyson squared up too much against real good fighters, and when they couldn't get him out of there right away, his feet would come together, and he looked like a dog taking a piss on a fire hydrant after a few rounds.
Yeah. Oh, Chingao. Number 2. Who wins head-to-head, Big Rick? Sugar Ray Leonard or Floyd Mayweather Jr. at welterweight?
Sugar Ray Leonard.
G Funky, what say you, brother? That's awesome.
I agree with Rick.
It's hard to disagree with Rick, isn't it? Here's a tough one, guys. Number 3. Who wins head to head at 135? Roberto Duran or Julio Cesar Chavez Sr.?
Duran, easy. Much
Oh,
easier than people think. Much easier than people think.
wow. I can't even imagine much easier than people think. Why, Rick? Why do you say that?
Just too tenacious of a body puncher, could fight on the inside better than Chavez could, and had
Wow.
much faster feet at 135 than Chavez. Chavez did not have good feet. And Duran, look at Duran's feet at 147 when he fought Ray Leonard, how he's getting in and around, jumping in, around, turning Leonard. Two ring smart, everything, really.
Gee, Funky, do you agree?
You know, it breaks my heart, but I have to agree with Rick because I grew up a huge Chavez fan. But yeah, I'd have to give it to Duran for sure. I think he's the best boxer to
Lightweight
come
ever.
out of Latin America.
Yeah, yeah. I tell you what. Yeah, I agree. I think Roberto Duran is the greatest lightweight of all time, even better than Sweet Pea Whitaker, even better than Sugar Shane Mosley. Yeah, he was an absolute monster at 135 pounds.
Remember, you couldn't hurt Duran at 135 pounds. It was impossible.
Now, unless you brought an aluminum back to the ring. Yeah. So
Yep.
here's the next one, guys. At cruiserweight, who wins head-to-head, Evander Holyfield or Rocky Marciano at cruiserweight?
Holyfield.
G Funky, what say you?
Of course, Evander, the real deal Holyfield, my favorite fighter in those weight classes back when I was younger.
Talk about someone you couldn't hurt. Evander Holyfield, oh boy. Yeah. Boy, he was special. You know, the immortal words of John Madden, he was something special. Cruiserweight. Number, I think 5 we're at. Who wins head-to-head, Tommy Hearns or Manny Pacquiao at 147?
Hearns, easy.
Easy. It's that jab, that length, huh?
That jab and that long right hand. Oh my God. It'd be like one of these right here.
I love it. Here's another one, guys. At 135, Sweet Pea Pernell Whitaker or Floyd Mayweather Jr. at lightweight?
Sweet Pea.
Oh, you think it was just too perfect at 135, huh? He had it all, right? He had it all, didn't he? Like, can you think of any weakness that Pernell Whitaker had at 135?
Not really, except that he wasn't a great puncher. His best knockout came at 147 against the Cuban there, Hurtado.
So here's another one for number 6. Who wins head-to-head, Aaron Pryor or Manny Pacquiao at 140 pounds?
Who? Aaron Pryor? Pacquiao does.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the footwork, right?
Aaron Pryor was very overrated. You take away him fighting an older, slower Alexa Guaya, who was topped out at 135 in reality and moved up to 140. He doesn't really have any big wins if you really look at his record. He's got spectacular wins over second and third level fighters.
And most people don't realize the only reason why Aaron Pryor didn't fight Sugar Ray Leonard, they were really dear friends in real life.
Well,
right?
Well, here's another thing. Aaron Pryor was wide and looping with his punches. Duran at 140 would have cut inside those wide looping punches and would have done what he did to Iran Barkley at 160, just cut right up the middle.
Oh boy, that was that proved Roberto Duran's greatness. What say you, G Funky? He can't hear.
Hey, I'm having a hard time hearing you guys. I don't know. I think it might be my phone.
We're having a hard time hearing him.
Yeah, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man.
That's all right. You can join us some other time, man. You've got your hands full there, brother. Enjoy your day at the open house. We love you, brother.
Okay, next, who wins what?
Okay, here it goes. Who wins head-to-head, Roy Jones Jr. or Ezzard Charles at 175?
Roy Jones Jr. Ezzard Charles is down 18 times in his career. Nobody talks about that. He became this great fighter and as history went on, it was like people were revisions of history. He was an excellent fighter, but he wasn't Roy Jones. When Roy Jones was in his heyday, when the best of Roy Jones beats the best of Edgar Charles.
That is a great response. Very, very insightful, Rick. Two more only. Who wins head-to-head, Lennox Lewis or Vladimir Klitschko in their prime? In their prime, both had Emmanuel Stewart. Who would be training who?
Lennox Lewis.
Too much dog, huh?
He just too big a puncher. His ring IQ was so high. He was so everything about him. He was just he was the real deal.
Yep. Agreed. Last one, Rick. Prime for prime. Who wins head to head? Joe Louis or Larry, the Eastern Assassin, Holmes in their primes?
You know what? I'm going to say Joe Louis because he was more heavy-handed and more accurate. Than Larry was accurate with only 2 punches on the left jab and the straight right. Other than that, he didn't throw left hooks. He didn't throw body punches. Joe Louis was more of a complete arsenal and very, very accurate with every punch and was much more powerful than Larry Holmes. But Larry Holmes had a better ring IQ. But I think that those punches that Larry was dropped with by Ronaldo Snipes, by Kevin Isaacs and Ernie Shavers would have, if he would have got up with those, if he would have got up with Joe Louis would have put him on his back again. The fight would have been over. He wouldn't have been able to get back in the fight with Joe Louis. So I would say Joe Louis.
Wow, that's an incredible answer, and I wouldn't expect anything less. Congratulations, Rick. You survived the head-to-head top 10, brother. Thank you.
Listen, if I could survive 12 years of marriage with my wife that I'm still living, geez, I could survive that for sure.
Ouch. I'll tell you what, have fun sleeping on the couch tonight, my friend.
No, she ain't here. I'm only a big cat when she's not here. She comes in, Jesus, I'm like a mouse.
I love it. Guys, it's time for my favorite segment. Here we go.
Maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter Watch. Bang!
Listen, we're now calling it an X Watch.
And an X Watch. There we go, guys. And this was at 1:40 a.m. August 28th, back last week. And this is a lengthy one, so I'm going to read it all. It's days like September 13th that all real boxing enthusiasts are clamoring for because Canelo Crawford isn't on pay-per-view. Also, many casual boxing fans and general sports fans are excited about seeing this fight because they don't have to pay $80 pay-per-view fee. It's on subscription-based Netflix. This fight is also about Netflix's interest in doing real fights going forward. Not just Jake Paul exhibitions and his fights with the old or the very shot. Tell your friends, tell your relatives, coworkers, and even your enemies that this fight is on subscription-based Netflix at no additional charge. We'd like to thank Netflix executives, Turki Al-Sheikh, and everyone that was influential in making sure this mega fight wasn't pay-per-view. Canelo Crawford will definitely bring boxing back to the masses, and that's what boxing really needs. Enjoy your Thursday knowing that you don't have to pay $80 to watch Canelo Crawford, and to the pay-per-view thieves that you don't have to steal it, you rat bastards. Woo! Now, here's the big question, Rick. Our dear friend Joel Diaz said, and this is tonight's main event of the evening, I got to get your thoughts on this, because he said it's bad for business if Crawford wins. He said if Crawford wins, this is going to be very bad for business because boxing, the health of the sport, is going to take a ding. How does he see it that way? I don't understand that. Do you?
Well, he's an Hispanic American, number one. That would be a reason. In reality, if Crawford wins, it's a new face of boxing. It's an undefeated face of boxing. He'll be like what, 44-0 or something like that, right?
Yep.
And the rematch will be even big. Will be huge. I mean, scary big. So I don't agree with him at all.
And let's take a look at this, Rick, because both men, let's just be honest, they're on their way out. Okay, later this month, Terrence Crawford is going to be, what, 28 or 48 or 38 rather?
Boy,
38.
you just said three ages there.
Oh,
In a split
yeah.
second.
It's been a long day,
Man,
Rick. And I'm not,
yeah.
and I don't even drink anymore. So how do you like that? So
So you can't play the Modelo, the Cavesa, or whatever. Okay.
no Modelo for me, Holmes. So he's going to be 38. And let's just be honest, Canelo, he's got maybe 3 more fights left. Maybe.
Yeah. Yes. Depends how
So
he does in this one.
it's of no consequence when Joel Diaz, when you think about it, it's going to be bad for boxing. Who do you see emerging as the new face of boxing in North America? Obviously, Tank Davis is on his way out. I
Yeah,
don't
I
see
think
Ryan
I think
Garcia being
I
that kid
see
either.
Crawford. I see Crawford beating Canelo, and I think they'll put him on the talk show circuit for a week, all over the place on nightly news, on the talk shows, and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's ESPN, whether it's the late night talk shows, a little bit of everything. And I think he'll make a week's worth of tour. And I really believe that he has the shot, at least for a short period of time, to become the face of boxing in North America.
Did you see his official send off from Omaha, Nebraska?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yep. And what did you think of the mindset of not just Terrence Crawford, but his entire team leading into the biggest fight of his career?
I don't make anything of it one way or the other. Bomac's Bomac. He's a great trainer. Made my top 50 most influential people and most powerful people boxing list. Bomac did. Um, I just think that Terrence Crawford is a very unique individual and a very, very unique fighter. And if you read my top 50 list, Terrence Crawford is, I don't know, 30, 31, something like that. I think 31. And if you read what I said about him, you'll understand what he's really done. Would
Yep.
you like to read that? The 40 through the 31?
I'm pulling it up right now. Let's get the number 40 to 31. Here it is.
Look at, I think it's 31.
Okay, hold on. No, I'm on. This is number 50 to 40. Hold on. I'm
No.
trying to find 40 to 31. Here it is. I've got 40 to 31. 40 is Sean
Well,
Gibbons.
forget that. Forget that. Go to Crawford's. See what it
Let's
says.
go to Crawford. Here it is. You've got him above Floyd Mayweather Jr. How do you like that? 31.
Absolutely.
Here it is.
Absolutely.
31 is Terrence Crawford. Has stealthily maneuvered the murky waters of professional boxing with expertise since leaving Top Rank in November of 2021. It's been that long. Wow. Yeah. And look, I'll be honest. Everyone said that he was a huge pain in the ass to work with. And I didn't think the future held this. But his alignment with Turkey Al-Sheikh proved to be a lot more shrewd than most people understood back in the
Well,
day.
this is his second fight with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Don't get me wrong. But he did have 2 fights between leaving Top Rank and between hooking up with Turkey Al-Sheikh when he got 10 million to fight David Azovanian. And then he got, I don't know, upwards of $17 million to knock the shit out of Earl Spence for 9 rounds. So I think that that's called winning in every way. And now he's getting 50 million. So I think that Terrence Crawford is winning the battle. And don't forget, last year he beat Madridov, and he got like 17, 18 million for that.
He sure
So,
did.
yeah.
He sure did. And what do you say to his detractors who say, look, he didn't look great in his last outing at 54, and he's coming off of a huge layoff?
Well, the layoff is not uncommon for Terrence Crawford. He only fights once a year. It's a little over a year. It was last August that the fight was, so now it's 13 months. That's not going to make a difference for Terrence. He's always in the gym. That problem exists for fighters who are not in the gym, that only get in the gym when they have signed contracts.
That's mean like Jamel Charlo?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, a lot of guys like that. Okay, so like Earl Spence. That's how Earl was. Okay, so anyways, that's one problem. Second of all is he looked fine against Madridov. People don't understand something. Okay, Matarov is very, very hard to duplicate in sparring, so it's very, very difficult to spar to get prepared for a fighter like that who jumps in and out and around and stuff like that. And it's real fast afoot. Canelo doesn't fight like that. Canelo's so basic, it's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, you said Canelo's basic?
Basic, yes.
In
He's
terms of footwork?
right-handed.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
right-handed. His footwork straightforward. He takes a little skip once in a while. Very basic guy. He's great. He's a very good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but he's very basic. Okay, where Madarov was all over the place with his feet, his hands jumping in and out and around, and he's difficult to prepare for. That's why.
Mm. Yeah. You know what? I just,
Listen, if you're gonna insult me, wait till after September 13th.
No,
So
no.
you can either
there's thought, Rick.
insult me or congratulate me after September 13th. Monday night the 15th, you can either insult me or congratulate me.
Perish the thought, my friend. I wouldn't insult you, brother. But I will say this. You're right. He's a winner. He's got a mindset of a winner, Terrence Crawford, but so does Canelo Alvarez. This is what
That's why they're fighting, Joe. That's why they're fighting, because we're fighting right now.
There it is. There it is. I tell you what, this is what makes this fight so intriguing, though. They're both winners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so and I'm writing an article right now, and I'd like you to be a part of it, Rick. And it's the idea of the WBC introducing open scoring with this contest. Here's why I think it's a brilliant idea. Because both guys have the mindset of a winner. What happened when Bomac said, hey, Terrence, you might be down on the scorecards against Sean Porter? What happened the next round?
He went out and tore him a new asshole.
That's it. And I see that's the mindset of a winner. He wants to win. He's not just showing up for a paycheck like William Skull or like Edgar Berlanga. This is a different animal.
No, I don't think, excuse me, I don't think Edgar Berlanga showed up for a paycheck. It turned out that way. But in the sense that he realized when he got in there, he got knocked down and he couldn't win. He wasn't going to win the fight. And it became that. But when he was preparing for the fight into the ring, until he got knocked down, that wasn't the mindset. Believe me, that wasn't.
Well, my point is, though, that there's no way Terrence Crawford is ever sufficient and packs it in. And in the immortal words of Teddy Atlas, makes that silent agreement with himself. Right.
Right. That's all. No, there's no agreement to Terrence Crawford except outside the ring. In the sense that when he signs a contract, he's a man of his word. And if he gives you his word, he's a man of his word. Terrence Crawford is a throwback to a different era as far as boxing, his state of mind, his boxing abilities. And he's a throwback to a different era because he is very sharp mentally, despite not being highly educated. He's a fighter, and he's very smart. He's very smart, and that's why I wrote that's when I put the number 31, and that's why I talked about. We all know how great a fighter he is. We've seen that, but outside the ring, people in the business sense, they don't know how smart he is.
And there it is, Look, the proof's in the pudding, guys. The proof's in the pudding. Martin 9400, welcome to the show, sir. He says, agreed with Joel Diaz. Crawford win does nothing for 154 or 168 pounds. What say you, my friend?
What was the question? I missed it.
He says, Martin 9400 agrees with Joel Diaz. A Crawford win does nothing for 54 or 68. Do you agree or disagree, Big Red?
It doesn't do anything for 54. It does something for 68 because now you got a new undisputed champion.
There it is. And he's saying this.
And one that's undefeated and undisputed in 3 weight classes. I mean, and won a 4th world title. I mean, 2 other world titles at 54 and 35. How could you say anything negative about it? Impossible.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's move back to my question, though, Rick. Do you think open scoring is a good idea for this, considering the mindset of both winners?
I think if everybody prepared for it properly, with advance notice, with enough advance notice, like let's say next year we're going to start like they did with when they went from 15 rounds to 12 rounds, where they gave them 6 months. This is what we're going to do, and they got prepared for it. I think you do it, but I don't think you do it on this short of notice. No. So I'm not against it. I'm just saying in this time frame where we're 12 days out, no.
So what if there was enough time? Do you think it would be beneficial for this fight?
I don't think it matters. These guys, I think they're going to listen to their corners, and I don't think it matters in this particular fight. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before. I remember the last time I was wrong. It was 1979.
Woo! And Kamikaze, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Mr. Glaser, do you believe Canelo or most likely Crawford will touch the canvas for the first time in their respective careers?
Neither will get knocked down.
What do you feel? How do you feel about all the Canelo fans thinking that somehow, even though he hasn't had a knockout since 2021, Canelo's going to stop Bud Crawford?
Not happening. Can't see it.
Yeah,
absolutely can't see it. Bud's too alert. Bud knows the power's coming back, so he's going to be very methodical, and he's going to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very coy in there, and be more tricky than he's ever been. And I think he wins a decision based on that.
Wow. So your official prediction is Crawford winning a decision.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, like you stated in your tweet or your X watch, you're either going to look like a genius or what did you say, a stooge?
A moron.
A moron. We'll find out, guys. But look, let's end this on some comic relief because we've got about 3 minutes left, right? What are your thoughts about Jermell Charlo possibly fighting Errol Spence Jr. in an old man exhibition at 154 pounds?
Well, it's not going to be an exhibition. It'll be a real fight, right?
Oh, geez, that's what you want to call it. Sure.
Well, I feel that Jermell Charlo doesn't want to fight. He'll only fight because it's Errol Spence. He knows Earl can't walk, talk, and chew gum. And Errol Spence should never. The only gloves Earl Spence should ever have on again is winter gloves.
Boy, yeah, he's not. He can't even complete his sentences these days. Rick, have you heard him talk lately?
No. Yeah, of course. No, I've heard people that tell me they've seen Earl say he's completely gonzo.
Yep. It's not good, guys. Not good. And once again, our last
maybe, just maybe, it's time for Rick Glaser's Twitter watch. Bang!
Guys, our last one for the day. Who's dumber? White for not retiring or the guy that advised White to fight on? An absolutely terrible decision. Dillian White has nothing left. He's beyond shot. It's called gonzo. Hashtag England, hashtag UK boxing. This is a problem in boxing, isn't it, Rick? And it always has been.
Yeah, he'll fight till the British Board of Boxing Control takes his license away.
So who do you pair him up against? Joe Joyce? 2-shot fighters?
God, that's ugly.
Oh boy. Okay, here's
I wouldn't pair him up anyway because you shouldn't be fighting. That's the best answer.
Okay, very good. Very good. Now, do we get an update on Floyd Schofield Jr.? And who's he fighting next? Do you have any clue?
No idea, but he's supposed to be fighting in I think December. I believe December. But I don't know who.
Any prospects? No, you don't have any idea?
No, but he's looked great against Tevin Farmer. It looks like the real deal, and he's cock strong. He's a young kid. He's 22 years old, and he's the real deal. Looks like the real deal to me. I mean, unless he gets hit in the chin by a big puncher and something happens like that. But as far as offensive goes and boxing and strength, that son of a bitch is strong motherfucker, boy. He just walked through Tevin Farmer like he didn't even exist.
Yeah, there's a lot of upside to Floyd Schofield Jr. And what are your
Yep.
thoughts very quickly on Shakur Stevens and Teofimo Lopez? Is that fight going to happen? Who wins and why?
I don't see anybody right now at 135 or 140 beating Shakur Stevenson.
He's that good, huh?
Yep.
There it is. There it is. 30 minutes just flies by, Rick, when you're on the air. Any parting shots for a listening audience, sir?
Yeah, go to Twitter or follow me on Twitter at Real Rick Glaser 1. I've got it almost 15,000 followers, and I'm a verified account, and I answer all questions on Twitter. Okay.
There it is. Rick,
I'll
good
see
to
you
see
next
you,
week.
brother. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure to be on. Okay. Bye-bye
God
now.
bless you, Big Rick. Love you, man. Well, I tell you what, that was Big Rick Glaser, guys, and it just flew by. Holy cow. But, guys, I want to stay on this topic. Is a Crawford win bad for business? Now, once again, Joel Diaz is saying this because, well, Rick nailed it. He's an Hispanic guy, and he understands the importance of, well, the Hispanic crowd. I don't see them jumping off the Canelo bandwagon, though. They're not fair weather fans. They're not fair weather fans. I don't see how this affects Canelo stock, or does it? Guys, does Canelo have to win this fight? We talked about this briefly yesterday, but I don't see. And guys, I'm going to put down the link if you guys want to join me. Share your opinion on this controversial topic. There's the link, guys. Click it if you want to voice your opinion. And Martin, who would you guys rather see, Raymond Murataya, Andy Cruz, or Kid Austin? Honestly, I want to see Kid Austin versus Raymond Murataya. I think that's a very good fight. Andy Cruz. Look, Andy Cruz is a special talent, but let's be honest, he's got no fan base. I really don't care to see Andy Cruz. Now think about this, and this is very, very impactful. Think about this, guys. If Andy Cruz fell off the face of the earth, would the division be lacking at all? No, I don't think so. Bubba says, welcome to the show, sir. He says, Joe, when Canelo Crawford was first announced, you said you weren't interested and wouldn't be tuning in. Have you changed your mind since then? I think you know the answer to that, Bubba. Just like in The Godfather Part 3. As soon as I think I'm out, they bring me back in. Yes, I'm hooked. I'm hooked. Guys, and oh, man, I feel so... Am I stupid for thinking so? Maybe. But I don't care. This is a big-time event. Everyone's talking about it. I was standing in line yesterday at my local grocery store, and everyone was talking about it in line. And I didn't have to say a darn thing. I just had fun listening to everyone's opinion. And I had a smile on my face from ear to ear. I was like, this is awesome. Everyone's talking about boxing again. It's so beautiful. And I can't help but fall in love with this again. Guys, God help me. I love our beloved boxing. Daisy says, bad for business for sure. I don't know about that. Because, Puro Mexicano, sister, we don't give up on our fighters. I don't know any Mexicano who does. Guys, and at this time, it's my pleasure to bring back our brother G Funky Boxing. Woo!
Hey, can you hear me, Joe?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
All right, cool. I'm leaving the gym now. My phone got overheated, man. It's a
That's
hot
all
gym.
right. So did our discussion with Big Rick.
Yeah. It's a hot day here. It's 103 degrees, and the gym is probably extra 10 to 20 hotter. So, yeah, sorry, guys.
That's all right. That's all right. I felt the same way last time I was married. So here it is. Look, the Martin. I'm going to ask you, brother. Our dear friend Joel Diaz says that a Crawford win is bad for the boxing business. Do you agree or disagree, G Funky?
Well, I mean, why did he say it? Did he say why, or did he just say it was not a good thing for the business?
He said, here, I'm going to read you his quotes. Here, let me pull it up real quick. He said it's a win-win for Terrence Crawford just making it to this stage. And he says, look, he's friends with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's fine making the money. Crawford has to sell the fight. He says, I'll beat Canelo, but we've seen it many times when a fighter moves up 2 divisions, they fail. Crawford just moved up from 47 to 54. Now he's going from 54 to 68. And he's fighting the moneymaker of boxing. If Canelo loses, boxing goes down. Let's say, for example, Crawford beats Canelo. Do people want to pay to see Terrence Crawford and Benavidez? No. Canelo cannot lose. It's business. Crawford's going to win. He's going to make millions, even if he loses. If Crawford goes home with a loss, no problem. I moved up to try and beat the fighter of the moment. Terrence Crawford will not lose a thing. But if Canelo loses, it's embarrassing, not only for him, but the sport. End quote.
Wow, that's an interesting take. I agree with most of it, you know. But Crawford, you know, we talked about this a lot, Joe, on all the shows we do. He's never been a big name. Like, he's at his peak right now as far as popularity goes amongst casual fans. I don't know if I necessarily agree with him saying that, you know, Crawford wins and it's just, you know, he's friends with Al-Sheikh and all those things. You know, it all depends, man. What do you think? You think Crawford just rides off into the sunset if he beats Canelo in a couple of weeks? What do you think, Joe?
Look, he's going to be 38, in my opinion, with the money that he's looking for. I think his future only lies in retirement or a rematch, a Cinco de Mayo weekend next year if he wins. That's it. I don't see. Here's the thing. I think both men are easily on their way out. And I don't think there's any doubt about it. And so, in my opinion, G Funky, we need to start looking forward to who's the future face of the sport. And I don't think there are any strong candidates at this point.
Yep, I have to agree with you 100% on that. No, like, nobody is standing out. And if Canelo does lose and then he decides, you know, hey, I'm done, I'm hanging him up, yeah, that's a big void that needs to be filled. And, yeah, I don't see who is going to step into that role right now as far as boxing goes. These guys, you know, they ask for the big money and whatnot, but they don't bring in the big money, you know? So who that next guy is going to be, I have no idea at this point, man. I'm right there with you. Who in the hell is going to fill that void as Canelo goes away?
Well, see, here's the problem. In fights of this nature, you usually want, like, who is in the co-main event of McGregor versus Floyd? That Floyd thought was going to be the next face of boxing. He put Tank Davis on that card.
Yeah.
Okay, who are they putting on this card that's going to be showcased as the next face of boxing? Lester Martinez or Christian Mbili? No, thank you.
Yeah, Fernando Vargas Jr.? No.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, I've met Vargas Jr. He's a really nice kid, good-looking guy. But yeah, I don't think he's I don't think he's going to be the next face of boxing by any stretch of the imagination. He's got a tough fight ahead of him against Callum Walsh. So I'm actually looking forward to that. I want to see how that one plays out. Also, the Mbili and Martinez fight. That's a hell of a matchup, man. I see, if I can do my best Eddie Hearn impression, well, I see nothing but a wall here.
All right, brother. Here's an assignment. I want to get your best Eddie Hearn on how to promote Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr.
Oh, well, I mean, really, if we look at it here, we've got two guys that are going to go in there and just slug it out for the fans.
Look. And since we're on the topic of Devin Haney, right? I want to get your latest thoughts. And this is what Eddie Hearn had to say about Devin Haney putting out that ridiculous statement saying, oh, I don't fight for money, I fight for legacy. What do you think Eddie Hearn had to say about it? He said this. You know, when Devin Haney first started, all he wanted to do was chase greatness. I don't think he's like that anymore. I think it made Devin fall out of love with the sport of boxing. I think now a big part of Devin is just fighting for money. And that's when it becomes dangerous because you're not the same fighter. Bill and Devin, they're not looking strategically. They're looking for the bag. That's it. So they're like, where can we make them 5, 6, or 7 million? What fight? That's why they said, we'll fight Boots at 47. We'll fight Teofimo. We'll fight Brian Norman. Well, because they just want the money. So they're lying to you if they say otherwise. They don't care. Why do you think they were chasing a rematch with the guy they were suing in Ryan Garcia? End quote. You can't, honestly, hold on. You know what, Jump Tube? You take that back. Yeah. He said, is that Michael Caine? Oh, look at that. He's jumping on the Adam Lopez bandwagon. No, seriously, do you agree with Eddie Hearn? I don't see how you can't.
No, he's dead on with that, and he was, yeah, he was actually doing that while he was under Eddie's watch too. So, excuse me, fire truck going by, but yeah, it's very clear that, I think we all kind of know what the Haneys are about, and yeah, the curtain has been pulled back on them. Fans know it, they know it, the promoters know it now. So, I know there's a lot of people that are saying that they're giving Haney a lot of credit for this Norman Jr. matchup, but honestly, dude, I think this matchup favors Haney. As crazy as that might sound to some people, I really think it does favor Devin Haney.
Well, look, if Brian Norman Jr. were the counterpuncher that Regis Prograis was, I would agree with you, but he's not. He's a lot more assertive, and he doesn't mind letting his hands go. This is where Devin Haney is going to fail. In his mind, he's thinking it's going to be the same thing. Brian Norman Jr. has no problem being more assertive. He has no problem fighting in the pocket and getting off first. That's where they're going to run into problems, brother. Now, he may start out the fight having his way in the first 4 rounds. But from the mid to late rounds, he's going to run into problems. That's where I see him falling flat on his ass, quite literally.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you said about Brian Norman Jr. He's got to be aggressive, for sure. I got a chance to see Norman Jr. back in 2023 on the Top Rank card. I was up close, press row. And, at the time, I wasn't very impressed with him in what I saw that night. But, fast forward a year or so later, and now he's, the current W.A.W. world champion. He's got a highlight reel knockout on his last fight. He's over in Japan. But my question is, Haney's I think he's going to do the exact same thing that he did against Jose Ramirez. And try to stink out the joint, try to frustrate him with not engaging much, moving around a lot. And that's where a lot of these guys sometimes run into trouble, when they have to be, so aggressive because the guy that they're fighting is just so negative in the ring. So we'll see how his mental fortitude is when Haney does that, because I do think that's what Haney's game plan is. Frustrate him and, just move around a lot, man.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to pose this question on you that I posed for Rick Glaser because he wasn't very fond of answering this one. Now, I'm going to have an article that's going to come out on Wednesday on Boxing Scene. And it's posing the question, should the WBC implement open scoring for Canelo versus Crawford?
Oh, man, that is a controversial topic there, man, because I've asked a lot of people about that. That's something that I get questioned on by casuals more than anything is, why can't we see the score? Who's winning the fight during the fight? You know, like, and this is not me saying it. This is what they're asking me and telling me. It's like, you know, when I watch other sports, there's a scoreboard. I get to see the score, who's winning. And, you know, boxing is the only sport where we don't get to see that. We have to wait till the fight's over. And then most of the time, nobody agrees with the judges. And so it's always a controversial thing amongst fans and even amongst people that are diehards or people in the business. I've gotten mixed reviews from them. Some people say that they would like to see open scoring. Some people say, you know, it'll just make guys, you know, once they realize that they have enough rounds, that they're just going to pack it in for the rest of the fight. So, but I just think for a fight like this, I don't think it would be a good idea to do it on the big stage like this. You know?
Here's why, and I want to get your thoughts on why I think it's a perfect idea for this bout. Both guys are winners, but both guys, because they want to win so desperately, they're content with stinking out the joint if it means poking and picking their way to a victory. And if Terrence Crawford believes he's losing, or if he hears that he's losing on the scorecards, he's going to put it into fifth gear and actually take some risks. And I can't see Canelo Alvarez acting any other way than that either. If he knows he's losing, he's going to put his foot on the gas and try to get his pound of flesh. In my opinion, it's necessary in this fight to keep both guys from being content with picking and poking their way to a victory. What say you?
That's an interesting way to look at it, and a good point. You know, it might light a fire under someone if they're losing the bouts. So I get what you're saying, but let me ask you this, Joe. You were actually at a fight years ago with Canelo where there was open scoring, and in my opinion, and most people's opinion, I talked about that fight. They did not agree with what we were hearing on the scorecards, and that was Canelo Alvarez versus Austin Trout.
That's right. I was a part of Team Trout that event because I was working with Austin.
Yeah.
And look, but Austin is a different fighter. He's a boxer puncher by trade and a counterpuncher, and he's not proficient in taking the lead or being the aggressive fighter. He's not a chameleon like Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford can put his foot on the gas and take the offensive if need be.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that if he knows that he's losing, he's going to go in there and do everything that he can.
I mean, just look at the Sean Porter fight when his trainer, Bomac, told him, hey, you might be down on the scorecards. He goes, what? I'm down? What do you do the next round?
Yeah, I finished the fight in the next round. So, yeah, no, I definitely agree with what that is. And the reason I brought up the Trout fight is not only because, like you said, you were involved with Team Trout at the time, but a lot of people felt like because of that, it kind of messed up Trout because it made him turn into a fighter that he's typically not. Like you said, counter puncher, work behind the jab. And then when he found out he was losing every single damn round, which most of us agree that he wasn't, he had to do something that he wasn't used to doing. So it's one of those things, man. Like I say, just leave it at the way it is. But I would have never thought of what you said, Joseph. So that's a good point.
And yeah, jump tube. The judges are indeed going to be Tim Cheatham, Steve Weisfeld, and Max DeLuca. And another article's coming out on Boxing Scene this week where I'm showcasing the inconsistency of Max DeLuca, and I'm saying he's one of the wrong judges for this assignment. And I don't think I'm wrong in making that assessment. Once again, I've got past evidence to show this. He's going to be all over the place.
Joe's good at this, guys. He predicted the draw that C.J. Ross had in the Mayweather-Canelo fight years ago. So
Yep.
he knows what he's talking about, man, with these things. And what I want to point out to you is I think, and I've been saying this for a couple of years, man, I think they got the best referee in boxing right now, Thomas Taylor. He doesn't put up with a lot of bullshit in the ring. And if it does happen, he nips it in the butt right away, man. And I think those are the type of referees that we need in these type of big events, man.
Yep. And look, evidence points to this. Look at Roland Romero, Isaac Cruz. How did the fight end up playing out when Thomas Taylor started deducting points for excessive holding?
Yep. Rolly met his fate was a stoppage. And, yep, that's what I've been trying to tell guys. Like, and Joseph, the same as well. These guys, when they hold, like, they're holding for a reason, guys. They're uncomfortable in there. They're being forced into a fight that they can't fight. And what do they do? They go into survival mode and they start holding, but that's against the rules. And Thomas Taylor is the best at jumping on these guys early, giving them the hard warnings, and telling them, hey, you keep this up, the point's coming. So when he does deduct that point, yeah, the fight changes, and it always changes for the better for the fans. And that's a good thing.
Yep. Look, and once again, who was the referee for Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter? Do you remember?
No, who was it? Was it not Kenny Bayless, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was someone, though, who allowed excessive holding. It was what's-his-face's last... Russell was his name?
Russell Mora?
Russell Mora. Yeah, it was his last assignment. And he allowed holding the entire time. He allowed Terrence Crawford, every time Sean Porter breached that perimeter, he wrapped him up like a Greco-Roman wrestler.
Yep. Yeah, it got ugly. And, yeah, we can't have that. We can't have those kind of fights on this stage, guys. We got to have a referee who's going to, bring the hammer down on somebody if they're trying to stink out the joint. And Lord knows we need this fight to shine, guys. We really need it to. Netflix, it looks like they're showing more and more interest in boxing, which is a good thing for us. So let's just hope that these guys do what they got to do and we get a good show. But I just pulled into the driveway, man. I got to get stuff ready for the kids to go to bed.
Right on, brother. You don't have to explain all of that on the air, brother. I already know. That's all right, brother. I'll tell you what, thank you for joining us, G. We look forward to speaking with you later on the week, brother. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Joe, and Rick as well.
Take care, brother. Love you, man. That was G Funky Boxing, guys. And look, to set the record straight, guys, Crawford's loaded gloves. What a terrible moniker that is. That's absolutely right on the money. Kenny Porter was there in camp, and he didn't like. And once again, Sean Porter, what determines your ability to recover when you get hurt is the shape that you're in. And he knew his son didn't get the most of himself in camp. So as soon as he got hurt, that's why he was knocked down twice within a matter of a minute. He knew he wasn't going to recover. So he pulled the plug on it. It was a wrap, guys. Sean Porter can bang his glove on the canvas all he wants, but it was going to continue happening. He wasn't going to be able to recover because he didn't get the most in camp. That's why, guys. That's why. That's the truth, right? And Martin has the beat. There's nothing I hate more than clinching in fights. I could see Crawford doing a lot of clinching. Never seen much clinching from Canelo. No, because Canelo's an inside fighter. One of the best inside fighters in boxing, guys. When he's in the perimeter, in the pocket, he wants to beat your ass to the body and head body. He's one of the most creative combination punchers in boxing. Crawford knows this. Every time Canelo's going to try to get inside, he's going to wrap him up like a Greco-Roman wrestler. Will Thomas Taylor allow it? If it's excessive, no, he won't. But if it's sporadic, yes, because no referee, no official wants to determine the outcome. That's the reality of this, guys. I speak with a lot of referees, and they don't want to determine the outcome. The last thing they want to do is to determine the fate of any fighter. And so they try not to get involved in something of this nature. But if they can't help it, and if one fighter is hindering the flow of action, they're going to do something about it. Hold on. Try and stay on code, Joseph. I don't know what that means, dude. So anyway, guys, it's almost an hour up. We're going to, hold on. Max DeLuca had Crawford 6-3 going into the 10th versus Porter. It's of no consequence. But yeah, Max DeLuca often is all over the place. Steve Weisfeld and Tim Cheatham aren't. They're usually watching this and calling it right down the middle without favorite. Max DeLuca is hot or cold. He's all over the place and is the wrong man for a fight of this nature, a fight of this caliber. He's all wrong, guys. And once again, my article is going to prove this, right? He's all over the place. He's been inconsistent throughout his entire career. Just wait for the article to come out this week. And you guys are going to see it I've got enough evidence. All you have to do is go on BoxRec, guys. But Steve Weisfeld, Tim Cheatham, they're two of the best in the business and two of the most, here's the key, they're two of the most consistent. But I'm telling you guys, the WBC needs to implement open scoring, and it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much preparation. I don't know and I don't care because the referee botched that fight. The referee, Steve Willis, botched that fight, not the judges. Right? The referee botched that, not the judges. But look, guys, what say you? One, is a Crawford win bad for business, the business of boxing? I don't think so. Both men are on their way out anyway. And I don't see Mexicanos being fair-weathered fans. They don't jump off the bandwagon. They're a lot more like Brits. If they choose to roll with a fighter, they're with him for life. How else do you explain Mexicanos still rooting for Chavez Jr., even though he's the redheaded stepchild of Mexico? He's an embarrassment. Yet, every time he laces up the gloves, they still cheer for him. Guys, they're not gonna jump off the Canelo bandwagon. That's not the way Mexicanos roll. I can tell you that with great certainty. Unless Canelo quits on his stool, they're not going to jump off. They view him as a warrior. I can say this, though. With as many Mexicans that love Canelo, there are equally as many that don't like him. And why? Well, I'm sure a lot of it has to do with him dumping his WBC title in the trash when he avoided Canelo all those years ago. They still haven't forgotten that. So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens, but I'm sure they're going to be galvanized on the 13th cheering for Canelo against Crawford. Right? Because there's no way that they're going to be fine with a 54-pounder in Terrence Crawford moving up to 68 and bossing their countrymen around. They want Canelo to make an example out of Terrence Crawford. That's what makes this event so beautiful. You're going to see both sides, guys. You're going to see both guys come out with their flags, with their colors, waving their banners, and they're going to make an event out of this. It's the fans, guys, the real bosses of boxing that make every event what it is. That's why everyone loves to fight in the UK. That's why it's such a healthy market. It's the real bosses of boxing that do it, the fans. So, guys, get up for this. Like, I didn't think I was going to be up for this, but I am up, baby. I am up for this event. I love it. I don't care who wins. I just want to see an action-filled event, an entertaining one that delivers on this stage, damn it. And I don't think that's too much to ask. So there it is. Martin 9400. Yeah, you know what? You would predict a robbery. Thank you for being here, my friend. We love your input on the show. I still remember Chavez Jr. versus Brian Vera. That was Ronnie Shields' fighter, Brian Vera. And yeah, Chavez was getting booed at the StubHub Center. And I think back then it was the Home Depot Center, wasn't it? Yeah, he lost. Brian Vera actually won that fight from Austin, Texas, the Warrior. Great guy. He's a great guy, man, and I still see him at events from time to time. Brian Vera was a credit to the sport. But, yeah, man, That guy was a warrior. His name suited him. Love Brian Vetta. But yeah, that was Ronnie Shields' fighter. I remember when they had the rematch in San Antonio at the Alamodome. Brian Vetta broke his right hand before the fight. Let's see. Brother Joseph, why do you think Turkey made Canelo Crawford a fight no one asked for instead of Canelo Benavidez? Well, very, very clearly, Canelo wasn't willing to fight Benavidez. There has to be two dance partners. There has to be two. Once again, look, there has to be two willing participants. That just leads you to believe that Canelo's not unaware of his slippage. Canelo in his prime would have stepped up and fought David Benavidez. The style matchup suits him. And yes, the money is clearly there. That was the biggest fight. But look, let's make no mistake about it. The money's obviously there for the Crawford-Canelo fight. This is turned out to be a huge undertaking. So I'm happy. Oh, you know what? You had to bring that up. Vetta also beat Andy Lee on Friday Night Fights. Yes, I know. I was working with Emmanuel Stewart at the time. It broke his heart. Thank you for bringing that up. Why don't you just give me a nice paper cut and pour some lemon juice on it? Yeah. God bless you guys. I tell you what, we're going to call it a night, and we're going to be back tomorrow. Oh, hold on. Hawker Mustang says, I don't want to hear any excuses from Canelo or for Canelo. No excuses here, brother. Honestly, I'm just hope we get the most or we get the best from both fighters in this. I want to truly see the best man win. No excuses, no injury. I want to see 100% from both men. I want to see who the best man is. Obviously, Canelo has slipped. He has. And you don't have to be a mental genius to figure that out. If you know what you're looking at in the ring, it's pretty obvious. Just look at his video from camp. In his last 3 camps, he's not the same. Oh, there's Brother Luke. Woo! No, Vetta didn't beat Andy twice. Andy Lee got his revenge. He beat Brian Vetta in the rematch. And he did his best Rocky Balboa victory posture at the end of the fight. And I spoke with Andy. He goes, you know, I don't know why I did that. I just, you know, everyone said I couldn't beat him. I couldn't handle the pressure, but I did. And too rich, Mr. I respect the belt. That's right. This is a rebuilding period. Wait a minute. Is it slippage or is it Canelo has that Floyd just do enough to win mentality? No, puro Mexicano. He doesn't. He knows that he can't just, he wants to look good and make an example out of this 154-pounder moving up. Oh, just a mere squeaky, thin, razor-thin victory isn't good enough here. Canelo understands he has to win decisively in this. This is, in my mind, this is what makes this event so intriguing. Both guys have the mindset of winners. They're both winners. Neither one of these guys just wants to win a razor-thin decision. They want to put an exclamation point on their career. Both guys. That's the reason why I'm on board, guys. But look, I'm getting ready to jump off. Big Luke, I'll give you a call tomorrow, my friend. Love you, brother. I'll tell you what, and guys, before I leave, I do have to remind everyone that this show is always brought to you by the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world and has mercy on all of us, Jesus Christ. Guys, if you haven't surrendered your life to Jesus, what are you waiting for? He is your creator and redeemer, your provider and your protector. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow. We're going to be going live with Ronnie Shields on my brother James's podcast, Boxing Source. Well, hold on. My brother Ugo is joining us. Ugo, I was about to jump off, brother. What say you?
I got Yeah, I got a couple minutes. Just let me know if you hear too much background noise.
No,
I'm
you're good. Let it fire,
okay.
brother.
Yeah. What would you like me to comment on?
Anything.
Uh,
Go ahead.
well, I don't think it'll be bad for the sport if Crawford. It might be not good for Canelo because I do believe there's going to be a lot of excuses and narratives on both sides, right? So if Crawford wins, then people are going to question his legacy, Canelo's legacy.
Well,
I mean,
look. Let's be honest, Hugo. If
yeah,
Crawford loses, the excuses have already been built in. Oh, he's too
yeah,
small for the weight, and blah blah. That's not that. That's why Joel Diaz, our dear friend, head trainer from Indio, California, was saying it's going to be a bad look for the boxing business, the health
yeah.
overall, if Canelo loses.
Yeah, but as you broke it down, I think that the Canelitas, the Canelo lovers, they're not going to go anywhere. If they're willing to put up with the past performances, especially the recent string of fights, they're not going anywhere. I think the Crawford fight's going to be, first of all, as the other gentleman yesterday when I was on, I think it is going to be somewhat of a barn burner. I think there's going to be a higher frequency of exchanges. I understand on paper why I mean, I'm not going to disregard your experience, right, in terms of you analyzing the fights for this long. But I think the X factor is that there's a lot of egos in play, and Canelo seems he's itching to want to make a statement on him because it is whether people agree with it or not. I think this is an important fight, not only for boxing but for each other's respective careers because it's pretty much winner take all. Um, it can give them a good positive look in their on the resume. So I think across the board, what I do like about it, even though I'm only really I'm betting on this fight. I'm betting on Crawford, but I got a lot of money in Crawford. Um, at least hopefully it'll be entertaining. So I think these changes are going to be high paced, and Crawford's going to pick his shots. I mean, we could break it down later on, but I don't think it'll be as bad. But as long as people enjoy the fight, that's what really matters. And I think we will have that at least. So that's positive, even though, like, I'm not a big fan of either. Obviously, I'm not a fan of Canelo and Crawford. Recently, he's just kind of rubbed me the wrong way with some of the comments he said about a long time ago. I unofficially put him out of my pound for pound for saying stupid crap like, oh, the fans don't know what they're watching. That sort of. Every time a fighter says that, I just, immediately turned off. Like, man, all right, don't tell me what to watch or what I want to watch. I know what I want to watch. I want to see, fights. I want to see entertainment. I want to see people throwing down. It can be
Well, you know
skillful,
what? We're gonna end this then on this note
Yeah,
because Dan Canovio, CompuBox guy, the little guy who does CompuBox, his family,
yeah,
he recently got in hot water because he said, Shakur, I don't like this fight. This has snoozer and stinker written all over it. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez.
oh,
And he got in hot water. The fans jumped on him like, hey, you know what? Here, we want to see the best fight the best, regardless of how it plays out. So shut up, Dan Canovio. And look, I've always been a critic of Dan Canovio. He, for being around boxing his entire life, he really doesn't know what he's looking at. In this style matchup, there are going to be lulls, and it's going to be more of a chess match because guys are both counterpunchers, but both guys are winners. Like we saw against Teofimo Lopez and Arnold Barbosa. Teofimo Lopez is a specimen. This guy wants to win, and it's by far the best opponent or the best fighter that Shakur Stevenson will have been in the ring with. I don't see anything wrong with this fight. Do you?
no, I like it. I like it. Realistically, Teofimo can fight anybody, and it's gonna be overall an engagement. For the people that want to watch him, he does have a specified skill set. But yeah, it's not a bad fight, even on paper. Even though I don't even like. I'm not a fan of Shakur. Obviously, not his style. I don't. All the shit he says is Twitter. It's annoying. Most of the time, I don't even pay attention to it. I just say okay, cool, yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it's a good ass fight. I think, as you mentioned, the style matchups are going to be the engagements will be interesting. That's probably going to be the most eye appealing part of the fight when they decide to engage and disengage and then tactically move and then feint with each other, open it up. I mean, it'll be a great display of skill. So I like it.
Yeah, I honestly, Dan just needs to shut up. And, just because you've been around the sport all your life doesn't equate to actually him understanding what he's looking at in the ring. Like, just because he was paid to press a button every time someone throws a punch doesn't mean you know what you're looking at.
Right.
And, yeah, so he needs to just shut up. But, look, I agree. I think we need to see the best fight the best. Damn the style matchup, I don't care. Just like Canelo versus Crawford. Initially, I didn't like this fight, but because of the mindset of both men, which would be the same situation with Teofimo and Shakur, neither guy believes they can lose. Neither guy wants to lose. They want to win.
Yeah.
These guys are winners. And that's when we see, once again, special fighters rise to the occasion. We see the best of both fighters rise to the occasion in special events of this nature.
Yeah.
Big events make special fighters.
Yeah,
What
and
I'm
that's
saying.
right, and that's the thing about Crawford too. And him and Teofimo, obviously, they have people that don't like him. I'm not a fan of Crawford, but competitive mindset. And that's the thing. The discipline outside that he shows outside the ring is also, something I admire. Same even with Floyd. Even though I have my issues with Floyd Mayweather, I will respect the fact that the guy put in the work.
Did you just call him
And it was
Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah, Mayweather. Yeah.
Now,
Sorry,
dude.
it was a slip of the tongue. Right. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. Slip of the
No,
tongue.
but
Yeah, okay.
but that is commendable though. The discipline outside of that. That's what I him and Boots, respectively, Crawford and Boots, active guys in the roster right now. That's what gives them the edge in a lot of these fights, and that's why they can't step up because they're constantly grinding.
Look. Say what you want about Mayweather, but that is one of the toughest guys I've ever met.
Oh yeah.
In and out of the ring, he in the gym worked harder than everybody.
Yeah, well, Joseph, even when he got cracked by Mosley and Maidana, that's the thing that even when I was less educated about the sport, that's the thing that I admired, that I thought he would only take a couple of times to get tagged and he would call it quits, but nah, the dude's a tough motherfucker.
No, Floyd is a dog.
Respect him.
And all you
Yeah,
have to do
respect
is see him once work out in the gym. He's a dog. Just like De La Hoya. De La Hoya was a gym rat. He was a dog. Sugar Shane Mosley, he was a dog. Fernando Vargas,
Absolutely.
he was a dog. All of those guys, it's a different era that they came from.
Hagler.
Like, dude,
Hagler was a
Yeah,
fighters
most of these
today-
kids come from
most
outside
of the
Tank-
fighters today would piss their pants if they stepped in the ring with either one of those guys. Anthony, how are you doing today? What would you like to talk about before
what you guys are talking about right now? What you guys are talking about right now? Like, the mentality is different because most of these, outside of a couple of fighters, most of these kids grew up in privilege with like parents that have some sort of money and stuff like that. Like they've grown up in silk sheets their whole lives.
Look at Ryan Garcia as a perfect example of this generation of fighters. Oh, he's dealing with bipolar disorder. Oh, mijito. Come on. Let your balls
let's
hang.
be honest.
Come on.
Like Joe,
Prove your
Joe,
mettle in the ring. Quit being a big bonocha. Come on, dude.
Yeah, no, but Joe, let's be honest. Athletes a lot of athletes from your generation, even if they had mental issues, they never came out because of the stigma. What you just said, they would be called soft.
No. Look, brother. When you work your ass off in the gym, most guys who work that hard in the gym don't have mental issues. They don't have bouts with depression. No one who works that hard and pumps off that many endorphins deals with bouts with depression or bipolar disorder. It's a spiritual dilemma. And they're doing too many things outside of the ring that isn't good for their lives.
You think Rolly's going to get to Ryan?
Yes, I already know this to be true. So we're not going to talk about that today, though. That's for an episode when he comes on, and we're working on getting Rolly Romero on the show, guys, to talk all about that. Because honestly, I'm not convinced that he ever steps foot in the ring again.
Yeah, me either.
But hey, guys, we're going to call it an episode. We're going to call it because I've got some errands to run before it gets too late. But guys, what are your thoughts? Is a Crawford win bad for business? Because
depends on how he wins.
If Crawford loses, yeah, his excuses are already built in. Small guy moving up. Hey, he was just daring to be great. But if Canelo loses, yeah.
No, for me, it depends on how the win happens. If Crawford, like you said, has no problem stinking up the joint, and he ties it.
Against Canelo, though. Look. Against Canelo, I can't see them rewarding Crawford a victory if he handles his business like he did against Madrimov. I don't think he gets the W against Canelo.
You don't think so?
He's not going to be able to steal rounds like that. Not against Canelo.
So you think I'm a little bit too worried about that?
I think you are. I think you are. Hey, guys, throw out your predetermined ideas. Just enjoy the fight. Throw out your predetermined expectations. Throw all of that out the window and just watch it as a spectator. Watch it as a fan. Guys, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enjoy this event because, dude, I'm already enjoying all of the mainstream and casual banter. And I'm really enjoying their participation in this event. This is like a breath of fresh air to me. And look, all you stuck-up, diehard elitists, enjoy it. This is what you wanted. You wanted boxing to be on this stage. Quit acting like a bunch of snobs, like you know everything. Enjoy. Use this as a platform to educate the fans that don't know as much. Show them. Throw your fight party. Teach them everything you know about boxing, everything you learned from this show. Teach them. This is your moment. Don't be acting like a bunch of snobs, like most of these diehard sissies act like. Oh, you guys don't know shit about boxing. No. Use this as a platform to teach these guys what to look for and what makes a more intelligent fight fan. Okay? That's your assignment
Joe, for me,
until September 13th.
Yeah, Joe, for me, some of these boxing diehard elitists are kind of like how hockey fans are. Like, they have no patience to teach. Like, that's what it is. I don't think these diehard elitists that you're talking about have the patience to teach new fans.
Well, you know what, man? They need to grow a pair. They need to quit getting in their feels. This is what you wanted. You wanted the sport to be on this platform. You wanted it to be at this level. Well, now you got it, Junior. Make the most of it.
And boxing fans to me are...
Listen, Anthony, listen. Teach mainstream and casual fans. Transform them. Convert them into diehard fans. Teach them what to look for. Show them that you actually know what you're looking at in the ring. This is your moment, guys. Be the ambassadors that you guys should be. That's the mindset that you guys should have. So I don't want to hear, oh man, I can't stand hearing these guys talk about, they don't know what they're talking. Well, then teach them. Why do you think we're here? We come on this show every single week trying to teach fans more about the business of boxing so they understand better why and why not certain things happen. Right? That's why we're here. Then you guys do the same damn thing. Teach these kids. Teach them. Show them this is your moment. Come on.
Joe, and boxing fans are bipolar too. Like, boxing fans to me are never happy. They're
You know what? It's time for them to start getting happy because this is what they've always wanted. This is what they wanted, damn it. For the sport to be on this platform once again. Well, now you've got it. Make the most of it, guys. Quit your belly aching, quit your bitching, and act like men. That's
Is
what
it
I'm
free
going
on Netflix, or do I have to pay like an extra
No,
thing?
it's regular subscription price. If you already have a subscription to Netflix, you can see the fight for free. So there it is, guys. We're going to reconvene tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to be on the Boxing Source with my brother James, and we're going to be talking to legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Your parting shots, Anthony Manzano.
I have, honestly, this Canelo Crawford fight, I think it's gonna end up a draw to me. Like, it's gonna be a good no. It's gonna be a great fight, all action, but there's gonna be so many 50-50 rounds that I honestly don't think I'm gonna know who's gonna win the fight. That's how 50-50 this is to me.
Well, I tell you what, thank you, Anthony. I wish you had joined the show a little earlier. Ugo, your parting shots, friend.
Yeah. Hopefully, I think it's going to be a good fight, so that's something real positive. Yeah, everybody tune in. Viva la raza. And Viva la Inoue is going to fight after. So, Inoue, the Aquadayo fight is going to be badass too, so yeah, for sure. That's it.
Guys, we're trying to get Coach Gogi to do one last big fight breakdown, right? We're trying to do that over the next 2 weeks. Guys, stay tuned. I'll let you know if we're going to do it. Ugo, thank you, brother, for all of your thoughts. And I tell you what, guys, don't forget to join me on the Boxing Source tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. God bless all of you guys. And if you missed any part of the show, go ahead and rewind now, or you can check it out later on archive. God bless all of you. Have a great Monday evening, everybody.
How you doing? You too can smell manly if you listen to Real Talk with Rick Glaser.